QM is something that start with, like, let's say you have this low, like this is the market, okay, low, and this is the price that market goes up, okay. So this is the high. Before going to that, I want you to understand, like, this is something we have as a N shape we call it, right? N shape, you see it?
Yeah.
Which is, if you look, the high A level and B level is symmetrical, like the line goes to as same as the horizontal line on here and here, right? Now what happen when you have a low and you have a high, market tend to do come a little bit down to the low, which take out the low actually, and it goes and take out the high also, okay. If you are familiar with, by any chance you're familiar with the SMC concept, SMC concept, like the people call ICT concept, those are the thing, you're familiar with them?
Yeah.
Okay, so now you can remember them as this way also, like this is the sell side liquidity that is taken, this is the buy side liquidity, it's also taken, okay. These are the two things you can understand this way. Then what we expect, the market should come here and then move up, okay. These are the way we can identify as it's a QM or not, okay. So basically this is the buy QM, okay. This is the buy QM. The sell QM is the same, the market started to falling, it create a high to low, it create a high high, it create a lower low. The same answer you can remember as here, like this is a initial point, market take the buy side liquidity and the sell side liquidity, okay. Once market goes back there and you started to seeing as a drop, you got my point, you got my point?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So these are the two types of QM we are going to have mostly in our chart, okay. Now you may hear few different terms of QM, which is QM by, sorry, QMR, QMC and QMM. You're familiar with those terms?
Yeah.
Basically these are the few words, like normally we are not going to use them as a, you know uh, R, C or M. Just we are going to call them as a QM. If it is a buy, it's a buy QM. If it is a sell, it's a sell QM, okay. So it's still why people call them as a, like, let's say this is a trend and market is giving you what trend? Market is giving you what trend?
No.
Downtrend. So if the trend need to be changed, there's something need to happen on here, isn't it? Something need to happen on here. And if any QM happen here, that would be a quad QM, buy QM, isn't it? So what we are going to see, if something happen like that, we says, okay, we are going to have our QM buy. That means if the market come back on here, we are going to buy, is it? So basically what happened on here, it's just a buy QM, but as it changes the direction of the market, that means from the sell it reverses to the buy. So we particularly call it as a what? QMA. Okay, this is the one actually. The same, like if you look at here, let's say this is something we have as what? Still as a downtrend, okay? Now, what if something happened on here? What if something happened on here and which will drive the market to more downtrend, like say more downtrend? That means there's some pattern will happen on here, right? Some pattern.
Yeah.
If the pattern comes from a QM, that would be a what QM? Sell QM, isn't it? Right. So if like something happened like this, so what we see, it just created something like this, then what happened? We see a QM sell area, isn't it? So that means if the market goes there, we are going to sell as a continuation. So now we are started to calling it what? Like this would be actually on here, QMC, okay? So what I says, nothing difference, but the name changes, but the formation remains same. You understand it? With that, we have one more common pattern. which is, if you think about it like this way, so let's say we have something on here which is what, which is our buy engulfing, isn't it? So normally what we expect from a buy engulfing, what is our very basic expectation from a buy engulfing? If the market come back to this particular area, we buy. Simplistic way to expect, simple as expectation we have from the market, is it? So what if it just come here and it do not respect it? What happened? We says it become a fail area. So that means we need a body break on here, body break on here. And if we are seeing something like that, we says, okay, fine, we are going to sell from here, isn't it? So what we did, we changed the buy area as a sell area, is it? Okay, now the same, let's say we have something on here which is particularly look like this. So now what QM we are seeing on here? Buy QM, isn't it? The same rules. If it should go up from here, isn't it? It should go up from here. If it is not, it if like the same, what happened on here, it did not respect it, it got failed. So we just goes through this particular area and started to sell. So we are going to see something like this, okay, something like this. Now what happened, actually this QM formation become a failed QM, isn't it? The same thing you can do, just if when it goes there, you can literally sell from here, you understand? Now one thing you need to also understand, like how this fail need to happen, this is something you need to understand. So when you have, like when the fail happen with a little bit sharpest way, okay, like it need to be failed with a little bit higher volume. If it happen like this, then you can use it as a failed one, okay. But sometimes you will see the market fade like this. So if it is the failing structure, okay, why it's, I need it a little bit bigger. You understand like what I'm trying to explain here? The fail need to be happen. Right. If it's happened like that way, it is the one that you should care for. If the fail happen like very smallest way, I would say you should avoid it, okay? You should avoid it. One thing also need to understand, like what types of QM work most in the chart. Let's say you started to seeing a QM in here, which is a sell QM, okay, and this is the area of your sell QM, and you see that particular QM is a QM in particular one constant time frame. So when I say the constant time frame, that particular time frame could be H4, could be H1, could be H2, whatever time frame, okay. So whenever you see it as a first time, if you started to seeing that QM is remain same QM in other two time, let's say in 30-minute, and then still it's a QM remain as in 15-minute, in my experience what I see, these types of QM are the one that work best in the market. Clear so far? Okay, now let's see some uh, purest example. If we see, if we have, like, you know, let's see on here, like it started from here actually, okay, it started from here. We do not see any nice SQM on here. So one more thing I also want you to understand, which is, if you have a QM, okay, if you have a QM and that QM aligned the SOP we have known so far in the same places, those types of QM are very, very uh, okay to go with. Clear? Okay, so now look at this one. We have a QM on here, isn't it? So the question is, when you have that QM, if we look at here in the 30-minute, the same particular area remain as your QM area, isn't it? In the 30-minute. If you go to the 15-minute, the same area is still respecting as a QM. So what's going to happen? Sometimes you will see the line you draw in H1, sometime it will be here, sometime it will be here. In those particular time, we are not going to count as it's a strong QM, okay? But if you see the same thing, that is 15-minute is giving you the same QM area, and 13-minute giving the same QM area, and H1 is also giving you the same QM area. These are the types of QM that you are watching is the one that would work very best, okay? Like the thing happen on here, you understand? Remaining few thing also need to be concerned, which is like this one is also still in the H4 QM also. If you look, this is the constant QM as one that it could lead you to very nice trade, okay? Now one more thing is like, QM is not just a setup, okay? QM is not just a setup, it's a kind of powerful tools to understand when market reach to certain level. It will give you a little bit earlier indication that market may change its direction. You got my point?
Yes.
Because in the main concept, if you know, like this is the something that we always want to see, the breakout, okay? The breakout, so this is the QM. That QM, sometimes what you will see, the market may never goes back to there, and it is started to falling without touching that particular area. You got it? Without touching those particular area. But this QM, when it appears, it gives you a little bit early sign that market may changes its direction. You got it? So every time you see some the market, when it goes to some certain point, when I say the certain point, which is like specifically if we talk about our all-time high market, every time market reaches in the certain time, certain area, like if you look, whenever it is started to giving you some QM area, it is started to shift its direction for a little bit lower time, okay? Same happened on here, which is this QM, it is started to fall. Same happened on here, which, as I said, the market never ever gives you the it never ever reached to that part certain level, but still if you look at here, it's your QM and breakout, isn't it? So it gives you a early sign that market may changes, or it will change its direction a little bit sooner. Sometimes the possibilities is it may goes back to there and then drop, okay? So the best example or best scenario to see how it's work is the BTC market. Why? Let me show you some example on the BTC market. Like look at this particular chart. We are in a monthly, okay? We are in a monthly market. So if you started to look this particular chart, this is where the QM started to forming, and the market respected that QM and then started to moving up, right? Then when it created this QM, it never come back to it, but it started to rallying, and it started to continuing it bullish movement till here, right? Till here, till here. This particular period in 2021, this is the BTC's all-time high market. You got it?
Right.
Now you can, as I said, when market reach to certain point, it could be all-time high or it could be certain key area. QM is the one that gives you the first sign of the changing its direction. Okay, first sign. So if you look at here, do you have any or do we see any kind of QM formation? We says no, right? So until unless we do not see any formation, we cannot tell or we cannot say like the direction would be changes. But if you look in this particular area, this is where it started to change its direction as a QM base, isn't it? The formation of the QM done. And what we see, the market retested that QM and started to falling down. You understand, my friend? And
Yeah.
what happened next? It just came to in certain area where we have our some key area as a gap area or whatever area. It started to giving us these QMs, isn't it? Which the market did not retest it, but as a sign of QM, it started to rally. That means it's giving us a sign that the market may change its direction, and we see the market continue its direction, and again it gives us another QM, and the market started to move up, and then it reaches this particular all-time high, which is in April. You understand?
Yeah.
Now, the same question I can ask, if you see on here, how we understand in here that the market is changing and it is going to be a little bit shorter term or whatever as a sell trend, because we did not see any QM formation on here, but immediately after the next leg we started to seeing a QM formation on here. You got it?
Yeah.
And now when we started to seeing here, the market reaches all-time high, but unfortunately or fortunately, it did not give us any QM formation except a QM formation that's a buy QM formation. You see it here?
Mm-hmm.
And it started to what? It started to rally, and it reached to it is certain high area. It's certain high area. Now, again, at this last year, like in this year January, if you see here, this is the first QM breakout we are seeing as here, isn't it? And we can expect it may drop a little bit down. What happened? It just going back there to retest the QM area again. Then we are seeing here. Now, the thing is, if you go to the weekly, the nicest thing is this is something happen on here, which is another QM buy. So we have a possibilities to see the market may go back there and then come here. You understand?
Right.
So basically, this is how you determine what is QM, how it work, and everything. Clear?
Right.
Okay. Any question?
Okay. Okay, so in the QM, do we look for the particular setups for the L and the